The J. Sterling Morton Award is presented each year to an individual whose pursuit of the Arbor Day ideal has become synonymous with that of J. Sterling Morton himself.
He is a botanist who lives in the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. And for over 30 years, he has been studying the environmental problems of his East African homeland. The solutions he has found benefit not only the land, but all the populations that depend on it for life and sustenance. His methods are based on two primary objectives of community activism: organizing people to address their problems at a local level, and youth education, influencing the teaching of conservation in schools, beginning at the primary level. Since 1992, he has established over 50 clubs to teach the youth of his country the value of conservation. He has also inspired the founding of women's tree planting groups, and he actively works with Dr. Jane Goodall's Youth Conservation Foundation, Roots and Shoots. The African blackwood tree is one of the most highly prized woods in the world, and as a result, it has become over-harvested. He has mobilized the creation of tree nurseries throughout Tanzania to propagate it. The tree is very important to the area for its economic benefit and for its nitrogen-fixing properties, which help the soil. It also provides food for wildlife such as elephants, giraffes, and wildebeest. He has led numerous tree planting and environmental education efforts for the reforestation of northern Tanzania with the planting of the African blackwoods. Through the numerous clubs he works with, he has provided for the planting of 20 to 30,000 African blackwood trees each year, and they recently celebrated the planting of their 1 millionth tree. For his efforts, addressing the problems of his country through environmental solutions, the National Arbor Day Foundation presents the 2007 J. Sterling Morton Award to Sebastian Chuwa of Moshi, Tanzania.
Of all of our award winners, we are going to ask Mr. Chuwa to say a few words for us, please.
How nice. His Excellency, the Chairman of Arbor Day Foundation, the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I was thinking, how can I get a good word to say thank you for this good award we received, me and my colleagues here tonight. But I must say thanks a billion for your support. Thanks a billion for giving us award to recognize our beautiful work we are doing to make the world a better place to live. My dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, myself, I'm coming from Africa, especially Tanzania. When I started planting trees more than 25 years ago, I find it very difficult, probably difficult than here. If you plant trees here in America, maybe the problem we have, maybe deer can start eating your trees. But in Africa, when I started planting trees, I went to the schools trying to teach the children. When we were trying to take the seedlings to the field to plant, the girls, they were not allowed to plant trees because the women's, traditionally, they were not allowed to plant trees because they are not allowed to own the land. So I was supposed to start working hard to make sure that that bad tradition we are taking away. It took me 6 years to work with the government, the local government, local communities, to accept and agree that the women are allowed to plant trees. Then, because of planting trees, that bad tradition it went away. Today, all the women are allowed to plant trees. That's also in the pictures with women groups planting trees. The year 2004, we celebrate 1 million trees, including African blackwood and the other hardwood trees growing in that part of Africa. It's not only that, you plant a tree somewhere and the following morning, nothing is there. All have been stolen by the community. So the best way I find that education is very important for saving African trees. So before we plant the trees, we always immediately try to give free seedlings to people surrounding the area. The following morning, if we plant the trees after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they will be there. And share with them that it is part of them. Ladies and gentlemen, really, those times it was a big trouble. You plant trees, I have to follow up for 5 years. Then I put it on my notebook that the trees is going to be survived. So education it is very important. I'm glad to see everybody dealing with the youth. Youth are the future of our world. But planting trees in Africa, we have to raise seedlings for the hardwood more than 15 months in the nursery. So you have to look after. There is some funding needed. Where are you going to get funding? It is hard. So that's why for planting 1 million trees, it took me 15 years. But here, you can take 1 year. Because we have the way of getting maybe some funding. But in Africa, still we have a really big problem of getting help. How people in the cities can plant trees? They always say, oh, we are living in the cities. We are living in a very place where there's no way of planting trees. But we can plant trees, whatever you're in the city, whatever you're in the community or in the forest, you can plant trees. For supporting those groups like Sebastian who planting trees, so they can do it. I'm glad to hear the big organizations that are helping groups to plant trees. Tanzania is one of the small countries, but it's very close to America. That's why I came here very fast. Those days, it was difficult for somebody coming far away up to here. But the world becoming very small each morning. So, my friends, try to help everybody who is ready to make the world a better place to live. Thank you a billion again for your support. Mr. Chairman, I have a big promise. I'm going to start Arbor Day, Tanzania.
I'm going to bet that he will.